Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are here for Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 16. Alright, so we are here for the finale of Part 1. Now, this was just a part, so it's not technically a season finale. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get, like, anything major going on, like if they want to leave it on a bang or whatnot, but it's also just based on a manga, so maybe they couldn't plan it like that. Either way, regardless, I don't know why I'm even thinking about it, because we're just going to watch the episode and find out. So, last episode we did have the past of Zeke, which was really interesting, with a little bit of information about how the king supposedly redesigned the bodies of all Eldians to be immune to this virus. I wonder, once again, is that, like, actually true? Like, I mean, did he... I wasn't sure if that guy did, like, scientific research and confirmed that bodies were redesigned, or is this just, like, an assumption as to why they suddenly, became, like, immune to this virus, you know? Because, like, some viruses I think the human body can, like, adapt to, but either way, really curious, and this triggered their desire, or at least Zeke's desire, to make it so no Eldians can give birth. And at least for right now, it seems like Eren agrees with that notion. So I still don't know if I believe that Eren believes that, or if it's a play to get close to Zeke, you know? Like, maybe it's all buying time so he can touch Zeke and then do something else, you know? So, we'll see. But yeah, very, very big past episode of Zeke, which was really cool. Let's jump into this one and see what happens. We're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Alright. Ooh, okay. She knows what it is. They all should know what it is. They all are part of the military. Damn. Wow, so he's probably still alive. Like, he can probably heal from that, right? I don't know. Damn. The sound of the explosion, like, blew his eardrums out, probably. Oh, shit. Will this guy become the beast? Who is this? Why? What? Why? So was that one that Levi didn't kill that got turned? And why did it behave that way? That's not normal, right? Was he commanded to do that somehow? I mean, that's one way to get into its stomach, I guess. What the hell? I mean, there are abnormals that don't act normally. That's a whole, like, concept of the show early on, so it could just be that, but that's just... that's a hell of a thing. Regeneration are the real enemy. My war! Heaven and Earth. Hmm. Okay. Whoa. Are we giving armbands? That's crazy. Damn. Still doing it to save the people. Wow. So even people that don't want to betray. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna know. Like there's no way they're gonna guess that the king can redesign the bodies. Yeah. They have a nice table with tea and shit. Uh-oh. Damn, she's still protecting him. Hmm. There you go. That's my thought. Man. him speaking up. That's fucked up, but also just funny that she's still, even the little bit they knew about her. Holy shit! Damn. She know? Hmm. Okay, she knows. I guess they do think this is saving. I was gonna say saving Eldians doesn't make sense, but I guess they think this is saving Eldians. Brat who killed Sasha. I feel like that says a lot about Aaron's character still. Well, yeah, it's... Speaking of spies. Damn, okay. Aaron just does not get shook. Then the founding titan would go to someone random. Yep. Yep. Hmm. Damn. How in God's name did she do that? Hmm. They're trying to find out if he has Zeke, right? Damn. Hmm. I have to go back to my notes. I can't remember her name. I mean, maybe they'll say it. I thought it was like Pac or no. Yeah. Probably. War. It's crazy that after so long they still need that pain. You'd think they'd be able to control their Titan without that trigger. Hmm. Oh, okay. Will they? What? I don't believe them. Hmm. Damn. Oh, there he is. I wonder if that was a message. She she didn't give him up there, so hmm. Damn. Man, so many people are finding out so many things. They don't know he's royal blood. Uh, just no reactions. Hmm. Nope. Poor Gabi, man. Well, damn. Alright, Jaws. Damn, did they take enough off that it can't transform? Well, nope, okay. It's been a while. Shit. Hmm. Airships? The ones they're about to airdrop as Titans, probably? Well, no. Maybe not. They don't have Zeke's call to do it, right? Damn. Well, this is a hell of a hanging point. Oh, he knows. Damn. Alright. Well, shit. That was a lot of people finding things out. What was Cart Titan's name? When did we learn it? It would have been near the start of 4, right? No shot I didn't write it down, right? Like, I had to have. Peak? See, I almost wanted to say peak, but it felt wrong to me. It's still, even hearing it feels wrong, but anyway, that's what I have written down. So, um, but yeah, we saw her a few episodes back by now, and we just found out that what she's up to. So she says she doesn't trust Marley, but she's still, you know, doing her duty. I thought it'd be kind of interesting if she did turn because I liked what that would have done for Gabby. You've been waiting. Really? That's how they're gonna end it? But yeah. Um, what did that say at the end? Hold on. Like, I don't know. Anyway, regardless, yeah, so, damn, that's it, guys, for episode, 16. We have the people, at least in that jail cell, finding out Yelena and Zeke's plan. Yelena does know about the plan. It's pretty shocking when she just killed that guy, you know. And then I was a little confused at first before she revealed it. I was like, I wonder if Zeke lied to her too. Oh shit. Sorry about that, guys. That was my alarm that I apparently told myself I had to turn off before I started recording and then promptly forgot. Um, anyway, yeah, the, what's it called? I was wondering if she got lied to or not, because the way she said that it would save Eldians, but of course, like, they believe that euthanizing all Eldians is a form of saving Eldians, right? Because they're just so either they're right and this like war like in a way they're right because the Titans are weapons of war. So this is a way to get rid of weapons of war. At like a base, like regardless of the past, regardless of whether Eldians were bad or good or whatever, at its core, Eldians are a weapon of war, so euthanizing them and making sure that weapon of war can't exist anymore. But also, they were just talking about how the Eldians are, like, as Titans, not as useful anymore, right? Like, as technology advances and stuff and they can like fight against them, it's not that big of a deal that they exist anymore. So at the same time, I almost feel like they counter, like, I know it's two different people talking, right? It was Peak that said that weapons are evolving to the point where they can beat Titans easily, and Titans are kind of becoming irrelevant in war. But at the same time, we have the other side saying that we need to do this to stop Eldians being weapons of war and everything. So I don't know. And just the fact that they think that, I mean, I do wonder if they think that like the warring nature is in Eldians and you can't like stop that. But like that's my problem with this whole show. Like, I mean, it's not a problem with the show, but it's that debate of like, oh, well, these people like to fight wars, so they're evil, but so we're gonna fight a war to stop the people that like to fight wars, you know? And it's like, and then those people that once were against fighting war, or they, you know, claim to be against fighting wars, suddenly Marleyans are now just, they're trying to push into other territories. They're almost doing exactly what the Eldians did, except they're just not as successful yet. That's really the only difference, right? Like, they're trying to claim more territory. They're pushing people out of their territories, not just Parody, but other parts of the world. We've seen them trying to conquer and take their land and everything. So it's like, I mean, what's gonna stop them from just being just as bad as the Marleyans, or maybe they already almost are. And that's also, we're just going off of the history that we've been told by the Marleyans as well. Like, do we really know that the Eldians were this bad? It's like, there's so many what ifs in the history of this that people are like basing their beliefs off of. I genuinely, like, I think true freedom, which is, I hope, is what we're gonna find from Eren eventually, you know? True freedom, in my opinion, is, uh, see, I don't know. This is kind of bad to say, but getting away from this history, like, it's good to learn from history so you don't repeat it, but I don't think it's good to judge people based on a history that they had no part of, right? So I've felt that way since the beginning of the show. Like, people should not be judged by the decisions of their predecessors unless those people are actively doing things to oppress and harm others. Then yes, you can judge them for it. But this whole island, everybody on this island parody, all the people in the internment camps, I mean, at this point, it's been long enough that every single Eldian that is still alive, I'm pretty sure, had no part of what happened a few hundred years ago, or what I guess it stopped a few hundred years ago of like the Eldian subjugation, um, or Eldians subjugating others, I should say. Uh, so it's like these are all people that heard what they did, don't want to be like that, but still get judged for it. I don't know. I dislike that, obviously. I think that's pretty clear, but yeah, regardless, my hope is that Aaron doesn't want to do this euthanization plan. His idea, who's like, he's been about freedom since the start of the show. First, he wanted to get out of the walls. He wanted to not be subjugated by the Titans, and now I'm kind of hoping that he's not going to want to be subjugated by the world. Now, I don't agree with going to war with the whole world, if that makes sense. But trying to like change the meaning of Eldians, like I think that, I mean, granted, people in the internment zones have been trying to do that for years, and it doesn't matter. Like the propaganda just keeps going about how they're devils and everything. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I feel like for Aaron, his freedom isn't to euthanize all Eldians. I think his freedom is something else, because that's another form of subjugation. Like, now, instead of being locked within these walls, you're locked within your own body, like not being able to have a family, to push your legacy and stuff like that. Which, speaking of legacy, I thought it was really interesting that Yelena talked about how the Jaeger brothers are going to be known like as legends forever, and it's like, I don't think that's true. Like, with the way the history books have been written to make Eldians seem so evil, I highly doubt they're gonna do anything that's gonna make a Eldian seem like they did a good thing, right? That's the way I feel anyway. I mean, I guess there was the oh shoot, what was that family? The one guy that was like one of the few Eldians that the Marleyans like looked upon favorably. Um he was the family that had the Warhammer Titan. They were looked upon favorably, I guess, but I don't know. And they do have that one legend of like a Eldian, like in their history books they have that one legendary Eldian that like stood up against uh the Titans, right? But in his speech, he was saying that that whole story was bullshit anyway. So I guess they do have some legends that are spoke about. So I guess there is a chance that they are like, oh, these are the people that made it so Eldians can't give birth, so they saved us from these devils. I guess they could view it that way. But they could just as easily be like, oh, more filthy devils betraying other filthy devils, and that's how they're remembered. Like, it could very easily go that way. It just depends on how they want to write the history books. So, anyway. Uh, we did hear, like, they talked about the armbands and how the colors work, and I wonder if that's... No, I don't think that's how the specific colors work in their town, right? Not town, in Marley. Because red is the color for people who were coerced into joining the Jaegerists, right? Which I'm pretty sure the armbands of the warriors is red, and pretty sure they weren't coerced. At least if Gabby is any indication, they're trained and all that. So, because the white armbands are the people who are like proud to be a part of it, but yeah. Anyway, I mean, either that or maybe some warriors are coerced because the guy in the last episode with Zeke had a red armband, didn't he? The scientist guy, but it didn't feel like he was coerced into becoming a Titan, and I feel like they wouldn't want to coerce someone to do that. They'd rather have someone like willing and completely on their side so that they can trust them in the future with this immense power they're giving them. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting, learning kind of at least the color system that they're using there, and it's just interesting that they just immediately default to what they know. I mean, it does make sense, like a method of sorting people, they already have one from where they lived, so let's just do it here too. It's just kind of history repeating itself, and the idea that not everyone that's betraying is like willing Jaegerists. I thought that was really interesting too. It makes perfect sense that they would find some people with weaknesses. They'd tell them, hey, the wine has been laced with Zeke's blood and he can turn you into a Titan whenever he wants. So if you want to be able to, still be with your son and stuff like that and not get turned randomly and eat your son kind of thing, then join us. So the people in the red armbands are the ones that have been kind of manipulated to do so, and I'm guessing the ones that weren't are like Pixis and stuff like that were ones that either didn't have anything to lose, they didn't have any family they could threaten, or they were deemed, their personalities were deemed that they wouldn't do it anyway. So really interesting. Jean talking about the hidden motive that Eren might have, I thought that was interesting too, because they've kind of hit both sides, because I was like, man, they keep going hard and hard and hard on this, like, Eren is the bad guy thing, and it's like, I feel like whenever anime go, like, every single character goes hard on one point, it usually means that the character is going to surprise the audience. So it's like, I feel like they're making it even more clear, but then with Jean having some doubt and being like, maybe he has some kind of hidden plan, it's like, I don't know, now what they successfully did was it made me think, oh shit, well now that Jean brought it up, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there isn't a hidden plan because they addressed it, and whenever they address it, sometimes that means it doesn't happen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, also Armin getting emotional. Now, was that... Does Armin actually believe in that plan? Which I can't imagine he would. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to think back to all the Armin moments we've had, and I'm trying to remember if there was any moment where I felt like Armin feels like Eldians shouldn't continue to live. I don't know. But, or is he, like, I wasn't sure if he was getting emotional like that as a ploy to try to get, like, oh, you understand the mission, like, I trust you now kind of thing from Yelena. And maybe that would get him into a position where he could maybe use his Titan, or at least just make some kind of move. I don't know. It's really... It's hard because, like... I want to believe that the characters we've known from 4 years ago, before this, like, time skip, are still the same characters, where I don't think he would be for this. This whole plan... I want to think, like, okay, I know this character, I don't think he'd be for this. Unless, maybe I'm forgetting. It's been a while since I watched the first, like, I've rewatched the seasons, but then I watch one episode a week, so since, like, even just for season 4, it's been 16 weeks, already. Since I watched season 3, and then a ton of weeks before that, so it's like, maybe I'm forgetting moments that hinted to us that Armin would have, but Armin more just wants peace and stuff, but maybe he does think this is a way towards peace after seeing the destructive, firsthand seeing the destructive power of the Colossus and everything. They also did hint at the idea that he's being manipulated by Berthold's memories And I wonder if there would be something where like Berthold would kind of agree with this, and that's influencing Armin a little bit. So, because clearly, like it seems like Aaron's personality has changed quite a bit since the young, you know, uh, really high emotion kid we used to have. So maybe Armin has too, because of the influence of Berthold and just getting older and dealing with war, and it changes people. So I'm not going to be angry and be like, no, this is against his character, because that's the problem with the time skip is like the characters drastically, like they might have drastically changed. Now, we know that Armin and Mikasa seem to similarly be the same. They're still loyal to their friend Eren. They're still doing what they can. They still, to me, seem like the characters they were before. Eren is the biggest one that I'm not sure of because of the memories and everything affecting him from past wielders and the just the way that he's been behaving. But I still feel like there's a like something's gonna happen kind of situation. Speaking of something gonna happen, what the hell's gonna happen with Zeke? Like, was he put inside that Titan to protect him while he like regenerates? Was he put inside the stomach and he's being digested? Is that Titan gonna like regain its sanity and become the Beast Titan? What Titan was that? I don't think we recognize the guy, or if we do, it's like a side character that I don't recognize. But that Titan that came up to him, um I don't know who that would be. I don't know that there were any characters that were with Levi that would be significant enough that I'd feel like, oh yeah, that person could become the Beast Titan kind of thing. But it also could just be, but also the whole idea, I feel like, because if someone else gets the Beast Titan, they're also not going to get the royal blood. It could be really interesting if Zeke is actually dead, because that means if Eren does have a plan that requires a royal blood, then that means he might have to turn Historia into a Titan to fulfill his plan, and that could introduce an important dilemma because he was so against that earlier on. But also, I hope that doesn't happen, because I don't want that I don't want that choice to have to be made by him, and I don't want that to have to happen to Historia and stuff like that. So, I mean, hopefully they would wait until her kid is born, assuming they want the royal bloodline to continue. But I guess the best way to stop the royal bloodline forever would be to, if Zeke is dead, then it would, as far as we know, the only one left would be Historia and any of her kids. So, yeah, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Luckily, this is a very, like, as it did build up. This was a very, like, kind of felt like a political and build up season. Like, what are their plans? Okay, we found out their plans towards the end. A lot of political talks, a lot of, world building and things like that. We kind of built up the Marley side of things in the start of the season, and then went back to here where we see them like build up their defenses and stuff like that with the help of the betrayers or whatever, and with the help of that other nation that I can't remember the name of that came and helped too. But yeah, so definitely was like, I am looking forward to some more like faster paced things and things to like kind of move, but I feel like that's about to happen in the next season, so, or the next half of the season. Yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my future reactions. Bye bye.